Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is our second episode of crocheting while Bonnie's balleting. Bonnie just went into class and I am here. I have an hour or so where I am going to be crocheting the rest of her leg warmer. If you did not see yesterday's episode, I will link that down in the description so you can watch that if you would like to follow along, or if you would just like to watch it and see what was going on. We made this cuff for her leg warmer. She's in ballet and we're gonna make these leg warmers, and we made the cuff with 15 well, I guess we changed 16 and then 15 stitches across. We alternated half double crochets and single crochets to make this ribbing around, and that makes for a good cuff for leg warmers. So we are going to continue on with that. We also were able to get in one round of single crochet and then 2 rounds of half double crochets. This is the start. I've got it upside down because that's why I got to crochet, but this will be the top of the leg warmer, and then down here starts like the leg going down towards her ankle. So we're going to continue on with that today. We may get done, I don't know, we'll see how far we get. So I think next we're going to do a couple rows of double crochets. So we've done one single row, a round of single crochets, 2 rounds of half double crochets, and now we're going to go into a round of double crochets. So we're going to chain up 1 and do a double crochet into that same spot. I like to just chain up 1. It kind of makes the stitch like angle down here, but as soon as you do the next row, it pulls the stitch up nicely and it makes it even. You don't have any like bulging out little stitches that are too long or anything. So I think it makes it look neater to just chain 1. I do that no matter what stitch I'm doing, unless it was like a treble, I would probably do 2, but for doubles I still just do 1. So we're just going to go regular double crochet all the way around here. And I actually really like this yarn. It's very soft, and one reason that I picked it is because it does not seem like it doesn't have like the fuzzies, you know, all over it. So because I wanted to get one that's not going to leave fuzzies all over her ballet clothes. I try to pay attention to that kind of stuff because her leotard is typically black. And sometimes if she wears a cover up or something like that, and if I'm crocheting for her ballet class, I do not want there to be fuzzies all over her when she takes off her cover up. So, and the same, although it doesn't stick to tights the same way it would a black leotard, but still, she's going to be wearing these over her tights and on her ballet clothes. So we need to make sure that it's not going to leave fuzzies all over her, because that she probably wouldn't like. So, and she probably wouldn't wear them again. And I don't blame her. So I do try to pay attention to that. So today it is a lot harder to try to think of something to talk about and also try to crochet. I don't even know why, but I was kind of rushed getting over here, so that might be why. And I found the different camera angle. I found a way to set it up in the car that it's not the tiny little angle like it was yesterday. I know my husband, he really hates that. And he hates it when I take pictures like that too. He's always like, why do you do that? And I really don't know why I do. It's just something that usually happens. So I don't know. I forget what it looks like when it doesn't get to be on full screen. So Bonnie was pretty excited about ballet today because they're going to be doing some big jumps at the beginning of class. She'll have to tell us about that hopefully when she gets done and gets back in the car. I know she is a jumper. She likes to jump. She loves the ballet jumps. Those are her favorite to do. And she enjoys that a lot. Okay, so we're just going to back around here at the beginning, and we're going to close it with a slip stitch. So it's gonna look like this so far, as you can see. And so now we're gonna do just let's do another row of double crochet, or another round. I guess we're working in the round. So chain up one, and let's do another round of double crochets. So chain one, double crochet in that same space, and then we are just going to keep double crocheting all the way around. It is still, it's not raining today like it was yesterday, but it's still very cloudy. Very cloudy day, but it's still kind of hot. It's like 80s, or 80s, so it's still hot outside. But I've got my radio on. I don't really know why I left it on, but I thought it might be good to have a little bit of background music instead of just the cars driving by. But it's listening to old country. Does anybody else like old country? I don't know. I guess maybe like 90s country. I don't know what it is exactly, but anyway, we'll keep going around here and get this done. Not a whole lot has happened yesterday, or since yesterday, other than just today's point class for Bonnie, so she's been excited to do point shoes for school, part of her school today. I homeschool. I'm a homeschool mom, so sometimes I give her little projects to do about stuff she's interested in and that sort of thing. And so today, one of her projects that she had to do was to create the story of her own ballet and come up with dance moves to tell that story. So hopefully, maybe I'll try to get that on film later, or be able to share that with you guys, because I think she had a lot of fun doing it. So she did write her dad into it, so she wants him to perform it with her. So hopefully I can get both of them to do it, and I can show that, at least maybe some pictures, if not the whole thing. But I knew she was going to try to get her brother to do it with her, because she always wants, you know, to be lifted up and things like that. So, but I knew her brother would not do it because he's not going to do ballet. But she is going to talk to her dad tonight when he gets home from work about what his part in her ballet will be. And I am sure that it will include a lot of lifts and spins and twirling her around. But that's okay, because he loves to dance with her. Okay, so here we are. We've done our second row of double crochets, and around, I keep saying row, it's a round because we're working in the round. But anyway, as you can see, that kind of goes out a little bit, and that's kind of what you want, because you want it to be like tighter, and then it'll kind of come out a little bit. And then we may taper it in. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just like slouchy ones. We'll see what this one's looking like. So we did 2 rows of just regular half double crochet, or I'm sorry, 2 rows of regular double crochets. And now what we're going to do is, I think, 5 rows of double crochets into the 3rd loop. If you've never done that before, I'm going to show you what I mean. So let's chain up 2, and then you're going to yarn over. So typically when you're going into the loops, you know, you have your V-stitch here. So if you go behind the V-stitch, there's like this other, I don't know if y'all can see this, but there's this other loop back here. It's kind of down. I've heard it explained as the 3rd loop, so, and I kind of like that, because, but it's basically, it's the one, it's this loop that you can see kind of right there at the top that goes straight across. It's like the V-stitch is up here, and then there's this right there. So when we go into that one, it's going to, let me do a couple and I'm going to show you what it does. When you go into those, then it turns those V-stitches toward, like, out, so you'll be able to see those. And when we do several rows of them, it looks really neat, and it kind of makes the leg warmers look like slouchy leg warmers. So I like that look. I do it on a lot of my leg warmers that I make for myself and for Bonnie and to sell. Makes them kind of slouchy looking without having to actually be slouchy. So we're just going to do that all the way around. And once you get going with a few of the stitches, I don't know if you can see, but you can get going with a few of the stitches. See, it kind of looks like they're behind, and then they start kind of turning that way, so it's easier to find that third loop, because all of the stitches kind of just, whoop, I just took them out, dropped the yarn and pulled it off, most of it out. But anyway, that's okay. See, we're just going to keep going into that third loop, and try to be up here so I don't know if it helps or not, where it's at. But anyway, we're doing double crochets into that third loop, and it does kind of start turning as you go around, and that helps a lot to find the stitch that you are supposed to be going into. So these are pretty quick to make. I mean, you have to make 2 of them, I guess, but it's still, they're not leg warmers to me. They're not that hard to make. They work up pretty quickly. I always try to do longer stitches, you know, double crochets or whatever, once you get, or triple crochets once you get the cuff done and get going around with it. You can do longer stitches and it goes pretty quickly, especially if you're making it for a child, because their legs aren't super long, so so it doesn't take like forever. Bonnie's, from her place on her thigh, right above her knee where she wanted them to come, down to her ankle is 21 inches. So so I'll probably stop at 20 inches long, so that it'll have a little bit of a stretch. It's not gonna, that way it will be kind of where she wants it to hit on her ankle. I don't think it'll stretch too much going down, but anyway, so we're just going through here. I think my husband's working late tonight, so, and thankfully my son is at home and he's old enough to cook supper, which is always nice, and he is making spaghetti for everybody tonight on these days where we are gone when it's kind of time to make supper and his dad is not home yet. He is able to make supper for everybody. So let's see. Okay, so this is the end of the first round of the third loop. It's not the back loop, it's different from the back loop. It's the third loop of the stitches from the previous row. And we're just going to close with a slip stitch. I don't know why, couldn't get it in there very well, but anyway, so this is what the end of the first row around looks like. As you can see, it's making this edging all the way around, or I don't know what it's called, edging. It's this, makes those V-stitches stand out, and I really like that look. So we'll do 5 rows total of this. So if you do 5 rows, you'll end up with 4 rows that look like this, I think. Well, let's just do it till we have 5 rows where the V-stitches stand out. And then I'm going to, so I'm going to pause the video and try to get that done real quick. So the video's maybe not quite so long. So keep going on these till you've got 5 rows where it's got the stitches pointed out like that. And then I'll meet you back and we will continue on with our leg warmers. Okay, I am back. I just finished the 5 rows. As you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that changed to darker purple, but I think you can still see that it's one of those rows like that, so that the third loop only. So we're like this far into our leg warmer. So this should get to about Bonnie's knee. So I'm going to show you now what I like to do at the knee, especially because she's not just wearing them to, you know, just like walk around and, you know, in the snow or something, although she probably would, but she's wearing them while she's actually dancing and her leg is bending and all these things. So to make that where it doesn't pull down a whole lot, what I like to do is make rows that allow for a little more movement in the bend of the knee. So what we're going to do for this one, we're going to chain 4. There's 4, and we're going to skip 1 stitch, and we're going to double crochet into the next one. So skip this stitch, we're going to double crochet into this stitch, and then we're going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and double crochet into the next stitch. Chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, skip a stitch, and double crochet into the next. And we're going to do that all the way around, where we're just doing double crochets, chaining 1, skipping 1, and double crocheting into the next one. So every other stitch gets a double crochet, and you're just going to chain 1, and that makes these little like squares, and that allows for more flexible movement in her knee, where she's going to be bending and things like that while she's dancing. So she likes it better. I haven't really done that for anybody else to ask which way they like it better, but she said she can definitely tell a difference, and it does move easier. And so I'm going to try to do that in the knees of all of the ones that I'm making for her, for sure, for dance, because well, really, Bonnie never stops dancing. She dances all day long at home, and then she comes to dance class, and then she goes home, dances till it's time to get ready for bed. Even during school, you know, we homeschool, and even during school, Bonnie is, you know, in between subjects or in between problems, she is up and dancing around the room, or just randomly twirling or cartwheeling, or, you know, all that kind of stuff, which is great. And I love that since we homeschool, she has the flexibility and she's able to do that, and she can dance through her days, because there's not a whole lot of us that get to do that. Don't get to dance through our days and just have a good time, and I hope she never loses that, because I know it can be tough. So here we are back at the first, where we did the chains, and we'll go into the third. Actually, let's go into the second chain up from where we started and make a slip stitch. So that closes that. And so you've made this row of these squares, and so I think what I'm going to do is make 5 rows of these squares. So we'll have 4 more to go, so we'll have 5 rows that the stitches make these little squares, and that should be enough to cover her knee and allow, my hair is stuck in my glasses. Okay, sorry. So we'll make 5 rows of that, and I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to pause my video, and we'll make 5 more rows like that, and that way we'll make it a little bit shorter than yesterday's video. So let's do 5 more rows, and then I'll turn my camera back on, and we'll continue on what's next with the rest of the leg warmer that will be below her knee. Okay, so I just got done with the 5 rows that will be going over her knee, and they're easy to count because you can just count the squares, right? So it's easy to count. You don't have to think too much about it. I like that. If I have to keep my concentration the whole time, it makes it a lot harder. So here we've got it, if you can see, this is going to be the top, and then it goes down, and then we're right about where her knee will be. And if you're doing it for, you know, an adult, you'll need to go a little longer. You just need to measure whoever you're making it for. If you're making it for yourself, however tall you are, to figure out where their knee is. So now we're going to do, we're going to be kind of doing like what we did up here above these stitches. So we're going to do 2 rows of half double crochets and then 2 rows of double crochets. Rows, I keep saying rows. We're working in the round. I do know this. So we're going to, it's suddenly super bright out here. The sun has come out and it is like bouncing off everything into my eyes. And my glasses have this horrible glare, which I don't even really know why they do. Anyway, so for this first row, because you've got the spaces and then the double crochets. So instead of doing like working in the double crochets and then working in the spaces, I'm just going to work in the spaces all the way around. And since they each space is going to represent 2 stitches, because it's like the double crochet, the chain 1 is the space, and that's 1 more stitch. So we're going to do 2 half double crochets into every chain space all the way around, and then we don't have to worry about working in the posts. We'll just go in these stitches here. So I'm just chain 1, and we're gonna yarn over and half double crochet into that first space there, and that will be considered our first stitch of this row. We'll do another half double crochet right there, and we're just gonna go around doing 2 half double crochets into every space. And I really do like this yarn and how it's gone from the kind of light purpley color to the really light, and now it's back to being dark purple. I like this a lot. I really like yarn that that does that changes colors like that, because like I said, then I don't have to worry so much. I'm trying to be where you guys can still see crochet, but not me having to hold it so awkwardly that I can't even that I can't do it. So anyway, we are getting kind of close to when Bonnie's going to get out of class. I know they were going to do, I don't know what kind of jumps they were going to do, but I know they were going to do jumps, and she was really excited. And then it's point class, so she always is excited about that as well. She has loved getting to be in point shoes this year. She has just had so much fun with it. And she's very excited to be able to dance in point on stage. That child would live on stage. She is a performer. She would live on stage if she could. She loves it every time, no matter what she's doing. If she can be on stage, if there's an opportunity, that's where she wants to be, which I think is great. She is not scared of it at all. She gets like excited nervous, but not like nervous about it, or stage frighty nervous. So here I am already back around to where we started. So we're just going to close with a slip stitch, and we're going to do 1 more round. I said it right that time. 1 more round of half double crochets, and we're just going to do 1 into every single half double crochet that we have. We'll do 1 more, or 1 into every one. So I like stuff like this because I just measured around and I don't have to necessarily keep count of what I'm doing. Although sometimes it's a good idea just to double check you're on the right page every now and then, but because you don't want to be skipping stitches or adding stitches. But other than that, you don't have to really keep count. And I like that, especially if I'm doing this and I'm talking while I'm doing it, because that would be much harder, almost. I don't think I can talk and count at the same time, unless I'm talking the count out. that made sense. Probably not. If I'm ever counting stitches at home, that's of course when everybody's trying to talk to me, and I'm like, just wait just a second till I'm done counting, and then I can talk, because as soon as I talk, I just, whatever number I was on just leaves my mind. I don't know why, but it does. So, but Bonnie's been doing really good learning how to crochet. She can do several stitches, and she's made some washcloths and some dish scrubbies, and she's done a really good job with that. So she's not one that likes to sit still a ton, so we haven't worked on a bigger project than that, because she would prefer to be up dancing. So we haven't I haven't done any super like big projects, but she'll sometimes make like sweater or like scarves for her dolls or something like that. But all right, here we are at the end of our second round of half double crochets. It looks like this. The glare of that sun is just awful. But anyway, looks like this now. And so this is what it's kind of like. And now we're going to do 2 rows of double crochets. So we're going to chain up 1 and go into that same stitch with a half, or I mean not a half double crochet, with a double crochet. We did 2 rows of half, and now we're on our 2 rows of double crochets. So double crochets all the way around here, which, like I said, this is really, these don't take a very long time to do, especially for if you're doing it for a kid. Like Bonnie's leg is not that big around, so it does not take a very long time to crochet around how big her leg is. Sometimes I try to think of ways where I can crochet faster, but most of the time I don't know. Sometimes I get to crocheting with like a beat in my head, and I'm like, and then I'm like, if I would just do that beat a little bit faster, I would probably actually crochet faster. And it kind of does work, because sometimes if you have like a slow beat in your head that you're doing it to, then you just keep going that beat, and then it's like, I could be doing faster than this. But sometimes I just don't. But anyway, does anybody have any, if anybody has any tips on going faster, or things that they have done that have helped, let me know in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're watching and you like our channel, I would really, really appreciate it if you would subscribe to our channel and like our videos and watch our videos all the way through. That would really help me out. Watching them, giving me watch time, and subscribing to our channel is a huge deal, and I greatly appreciate everybody that has subscribed so far, and I'm really hoping more people do. So just thank you very much for watching, and keep crocheting. Okay, so here we are. This is the end of the first round of double crochets. So we're just going to do one more, just like this. We're going to do one more round of double crochets. So chain up 1, double crochet in that same stitch, and then we are double crocheting all the way around. And we'll see, I think we'll have time to get to our next 5 rows, which are going to be where we do that 3rd loop again after this 2nd row of regular half double crochets. We'll go ahead and do that to make it look like the top, and then I'll see how long we're at. We may be down to her ankle where we can kind of do like the bottom cuff edgings. So we're kind of almost done with this one. Of course, it's a leg warmers, so we have to make another one for her other leg. But anyway, that is, this yarn has been a mess. I know I said that yesterday. It literally like jumped out at me yesterday, the yarn did. It was crazy. When I pulled on it and just like, I don't know what it was doing. Never had yarn do that before. But anyway, okay. Here we go. Finishing up our row of double crochets. Regular double crochets, and then we'll do the same thing we did here to make those V-stitches kind of face out and look kind of scrunchy and big. We'll do that. 5 rows of that again. Oh, I see. I see what I'm listening to now. It's 80s and 90s country. I don't know. That may be annoying if you're watching this. There's like, they don't have a ton. It's like the XM radio, so there's not a ton of commercials, but they do sometimes kind of just talk a lot. But so that's not really old country, at least not to me. Some people it would be a lot though. I will never forget, let me just tell you, if anybody's still watching this far, so we listened to country like a lot, and one Sunday we were going into church, and Bonnie probably doesn't remember this. She was tiny, like little. She was little. And we walked into church, and just about probably as loud as she could, she started singing, "I'm having daydreams about night things in the middle of the afternoon." I cannot sing it all, but that is what Bonnie started singing. Daydreams about night things in the middle of the afternoon. Just like as loud as she could. I thought it was pretty funny. I doubt she remembers that, but okay. Here's the end of this row. So now we've done the stitches that made the square, 2 rows of half double crochets, 2 rows of double crochets, and now we're going to do 5 rows of the to make the ridges here again, and we're going to do 5 rows of those, which is going into the 3rd loop there. Hold my hair at the back of my neck for some reason. Okay, so chain up 1, and we're going to find that 3rd loop. This first one is sometimes hard to find. And then we double crochet. Once you get a couple of them, once you get the 3rd loop of a couple of them, then they kind of just all start turning that way, and that helps a lot to be able to find them. So this one, since we know what we're doing and we've got just 5 rows of this exact same thing, I'm going to go ahead and pause my video again, and I'm going to meet you back when we are done with these rows going into the, oh look, mine changed back to white. I like that. Anyway, so we're going to go back for 5 more rows, so I will meet you back here in just a second. Okay, so I am 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm almost done. I've got 4 rows done, and I'm going to try to get the 5th one done here before Bonnie comes out. I think she is probably getting ready to come running out here to go home. We'll talk to her for just a second and find out how ballet went today, and then I'll sneak in 1 more row while we're sitting here before I need to drive home. But because I don't want to stop in the middle of the section here that I'm doing. So here, oh, gotta unlock the doors. Here's Bonnie coming. Oh, camera fell down a little bit. That's okay. Shut the door there. And lean over here and let's see. You can maybe move it back or something. There we go. Now you can tell everybody how ballet was.
Good.
How was ballet?
Good.
What'd you guys do?
A lot of stuff.
Did you get to do the jumps, the big jumps?
Yeah, we had to go for punches.
Well, tell us about what kind of jumps were they? What were they called? Do you remember?
Yeah, a grand jet. I don't remember. It was a grand jet, but I don't remember what it was like actually called. It was like, I don't know.
It was a grand jeté, but not a grand jeté.
No, it was, but I don't.
But there was something else it was called?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know. It was actually pretty hard.
I bet. How'd you do?
Okay on it. Well, we did it, but I was just out in the group that I was in. We were just off the music a little bit. But I was off the music because a girl behind me was going off the music. She was going really fast, and I felt like she was going to run me over if I kept going on the music.
Oops. Well, I'm just gonna finish. We got this much of your leg warmer, of one leg warmer done. I did the little square things at your knee again, because do you think that helps you be able to bend your knee and dance anymore? Yeah. So I'm gonna do this one more row real quick, so we're done with this section before we go home, because I've got
What?
nothing. It's a little crooked though. The setup in the car is not the greatest thing that we've ever tried to do, but it's working, and I've just got this one more row to kind of finish up here, and then we will head home and get supper ready and hang out with Dad and Kenny.
Are we having spaghetti tonight?
Kenny's cooking spaghetti for us. So yes, and so we're going to finish up this row here. We've done, after the square rows, we did 2 rows of, or rounds, after the square rounds at the knee, we did 2 rows of half double crochets. Bonnie's trying to fix the camera, or I'm not bending down. Anyway, we did 2 rows of half double crochets, 2 rows of double crochets, and now we've done 5 rows of these, 3rd loop double crochets, and I am almost done. I'm almost done with this round, and we'll stop for the day. I'm going to scooch down here so you can see. We're almost done for the day, and we will come. Bonnie's got one more day of ballet this week, so we will finish up on Saturday of this week. We'll finish up this leg warmer, and should definitely be able to finish in one more class, because I think this right here will get us down to almost her ankle. I'll have to measure it to be sure, and we'll do that in the next video of crocheting while Bonnie is balleting. And let's see, this is my last stitch here, and we're going to slip stitch to close. So this is what we got done today. Almost a whole leg warmer. So anyway, thank you so much. Let's see, let me do this. Let's do this. Oh, you can see the towel that we have back there for when we're swimming. So thank you so much for watching crocheting while Bonnie's balleting, and please do like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we will have another episode coming up soon of this series, and I have a couple other of tutorials that I'm working on, so we will get all of that up soon. And let's see, did I leave anything out? Episode 1 I'm going to put in the description box, the link to it, so if you need to, if you haven't watched that one, then you can, and if you want to start on some leg warmers. And other than that, we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Oh, go ahead.
If you didn't get my head, most to do is like, share,
okay,
share with somebody, And then subscribe.
Yeah.
And the bell ring.
Yeah. Like, subscribe, and share all of our videos. And subscribe to our channel. All right. Thanks for watching.
Bye.